what does actually go into, or what actually goes into creating a state channel? From like a development perspective, actually creating your own state channel is as simple as creating your own HTTP server. The interface that we're creating is very similar to how you would use something called a future to represent API calls. And basically from that very similar interface, you'll be able to create just components and, well, one, like secure endpoints, and two, also components and like some type of like a data pipeline or microservice that you can run consensus on, or self-orchestrate automatically through consensus. And so that, from like a developer standpoint, is fairly straightforward, I would say. But the real nuance comes into figuring out, how do you actually want to create how do you actually want to create and support your token? And by that, I mean, like, in order to actually create and solve the cross-chain liquidity problem, and that's one of the main, this like weird background thing is cutting me out. In order to solve the cross-chain liquidity problem, there needs to be some type of shared unit of value that can be represented across all different ledgers. And so in order to actually solve that problem, one potential solution is to use entropy. And without getting into any of the specifics, there is a way that we can represent utility as like useful work being done by a network, and have that backed by the actual like value of a token. And so that was sort of a long way of saying, creating a state channel isn't just creating like the HTTP server. You have to create something called an ACI, which is like Ethereum's ABI. And so this is essentially just like a JSON object that contains configuration for how the token mechanics of your state channel is going to work. And so I'll just add that there's a nuance such that, which I'm really proud of and I think is cool, which is that there's a potential to actually launch a state channel with some type of a relatively stabilized value of your state channel token that's backed by a notion of debt that can be repaid by just hosting DAG nodes. And so there's just an extra component to how people can actually get involved in like the mining community, and also how they can get their products to market, as opposed to focusing on the fundraising factor, but more the proof of concept factor as well. And all that stuff's going to be released actually in this paper I'm working on. These components have well been finalized. I'm just actually like getting the nuts and bolts ready, because I want to get this thing published, kind of like the last blockchain cohomology paper, which is what the interface I was talking about, which HTTP comes from. So